What's up, everybody? You already know who it is. It's Drip God there, and I'm back at you guys with another thing. So in today's video, I do want to talk about Jabari Parker, man. Recently, Jabari Parker did have an interview with a reporter that has went viral. I just want to give my thoughts on the whole situation and his career in whole. And hey, before we do switch over, I do appreciate you guys for all the support that you guys show. And hey, without further ado, let's switch over and let's get right into it. All right, so as you guys can see, we all switched over and we have the video right here, man. Let's just take a look at this video. As you guys can see, I'm assuming this was after a game that he played with his team overseas. And yeah, man, let's just tune into it. I ain't gonna say too much. Let's just see what's going on.
Night, how are you?
Let me turn this down a little bit. All right, that's better. So as we can see, the reporter is about to ask him some questions, and let's get it.
Sorry. Night, how are you? How pissed off are you in a day like today?
No, I'm not. I'm not pissed off at all. I'm not a sore loser. The better team won. They're a great team, and we enjoyed the playoff series playing against them.
Why did they advance and you not?
Well, honestly, they did the intangibles. It wasn't about the talent per se. Individually, it was together, which is why they are more of a threat, because they play so good together, man. A good team that I really admire.
Did the team lack the same that the team lacked in Athens?
No, I don't think so. I think we gave our effort. I'm very proud of my guys. I'm very proud of them. And this year has been a beautiful experience. I made a lot of friends, and I've met a legend himself. I met, Mr. Norris. He's been helping me out this season because it wasn't easy, but with his encouragement and his diligence,
I'm gonna pause it right here just for copyright purposes. I'm not trying to get copyright strike. Y'all know how it go with YouTube. But yeah, man, I just want to give my thoughts. So currently, it just looks like he's getting asked those, end of the year questions once you get knocked out the playoffs or once you don't make it to the playoffs. But based on what I could tell, it looks like they did make it to the playoffs, but they ended up losing to a better team. But let's continue.
helped me maintain my level head during the year, so I just wanted to shout him out.
Are you able to level this season in terms of to make a balance about how things were going, taking a look back to the season now that it ends?
You can't be bitter. The most important thing is everybody's safe. Everybody injury-free, and that's the most important thing. These guys can go home and play with their kids. They get a chance to be healthy. So that's the big thing. That's a win in my book.
Finally, two questions, two topics. First of all, about you. It was your first experience overseas. Globally, one thought, one statement about this first year outside United States.
Yeah.
In terms of basketball and in terms of life. What's wrong, boy? Are you okay? Do you want to stop? Let's talk later.
Alright, so that's pretty much the end of that video. And it's two ways that you can really look at this. But before I do get my thoughts, I do just want to, show you guys the stats that Jabari Parker had while he was in the NBA so that you can get a better understanding of his career as a whole and pretty much his journey and what he's been through. So let's switch over to that. so that we could see his stats. So right here, shout out to Basketball Reference, man. They always coming in clutch when it comes to the stats and things of that nature. So let me zoom out a little bit, and voila, there we go. So as you guys can see, it looks like he was in the NBA for a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, pretty much. So he had a decent career in the NBA. 8 years, that's longer than most people, to be honest. So that's nice. And as we all know, he was a top draft, man. I believe he was drafted second in his draft, man. I believe it was the 2014 draft, and I think he was drafted second. So yeah, just him getting drafted second, there were a lot of expectations on him in general. And as we could see, he really started to put it together in his third year with Milwaukee. As you guys can see, he was averaging 20 points. So he really was putting things together that year. But unfortunately, he got injured in that same year. And as you guys can see, the next couple of years, he really didn't play too much. 31 games after the injury. He played 64 games for Toronto in 2018, 2019. But other than that, everything just got inconsistent after that. You know, you seeing a lot of 30 games, 20 games, things of that nature. And man, like I was saying, just to break everything down on a real perspective, man. So like I was saying, there's two ways you could look at this. First and foremost, I want to look at it in a sympathetic way. And the way I look at it, if I'm sympathizing with him, is that, man, a thing that a lot of, just us normal individuals don't understand is that these basketball players, these athletes, they dedicate a majority of their life to that specific sport. Most of these basketball players, boxers, whatever, athletes in general, they tend to start playing that specific sport early on in their life at like 5. And imagine dedicating your life to a certain profession or a certain sport, or just a certain goal in general, and achieving that goal. Don't get it confused. He achieved that goal. He made it to the NBA, but due to things that you can't control, such as injuries, it ended up derailing his career. Now he's in his first year playing outside of the NBA. I'm sure he probably expected that his NBA career will be much longer. Like I said, he had a lot of talent, and he got drafted very high up. He got drafted as the second in his draft. So with that being said, that's a lot to take in if you are Jabari Parker. You playing overseas when you're pretty much in your prime. He is only like 28 years old. 28. This is the time when you're supposed to be in your prime in the NBA. So I definitely understand, because let's be real, a lot of average people, we aren't dedicating a majority of our life to a specific sport, a specific profession, or a specific goal. So with that being said, it's like, I do feel for him when he started crying, because man, that's tough, dedicating your life to that specific goal of being in the NBA, wanting to become a star, this, that, and the third, and that getting taken away from you due to something you can't control, aka injuries. So with that being said, I am sympathetic to him in that regard. Also, when it comes to him being overseas, let's be real. If you had to go overseas for your job, more than likely you're going to be dealing with homesickness. You're going to be dealing with a lot of stuff. People in other countries look at you differently, especially if you're a black man. I'm just keeping it real. So with that being said, we don't know what he's experiencing in that different country. You really don't know, because the way people treat you in America may be completely different than the way they'll treat you in China or wherever he's at. So with that being said, that's another thing to note. And like I said, I feel for him. Now, the other way to look at it is like, dude, you had 8 years in the league. You got paid millions of dollars. What are you crying about? That's the other way to look at it. And I understand that point of view as well. If, playing overseas is so hard for you, then, hey, you done made millions. Just use that money. I hope you saved it and invested into different, avenues, be it stocks, businesses, and all that. And you could chill in America and, sit back. Most millionaires don't really need that many millions. I believe the average millionaire in the U.S., they only have around $2 million. So it's like, hey, I know for a fact he made more than that in his, NBA career. So it's like, hey, if he did keep that money, why not just invest it and lay low, invest it into some businesses, invest it into some stocks, and lay low, live off the dividends. So that's another way to look at it. And hey, overall, bro, all I can say, and this is some words to anybody who is going through a situation where you done dedicated a majority of your life, a majority of your time to a specific goal, and it just didn't work out. My advice would be to just try to take advantage of the position you in. Yeah, you might not be in the position you want to be, but you got to take advantage of the position you in regardless. Look at Stephen Marbury. He had to go play overseas, and hey, he became a multimillionaire and became one of the most famous overseas players ever. He got his own shoes and all that because he didn't mope, he didn't cry. He took advantage of the opportunity. Okay, the NBA don't want me over here no more. I'm about to go over to China and, go crazy. I'm about to go over in China and really monopolize the sport, really, just monetize the sport and take advantage of the opportunity. Take advantage of the opportunity. So that's my thoughts on the situation, man. I hope that Jabari, he does get through this, man. I know it's tough. And like I said, I can see it from both ways, man. I can see it if you, if you one of them dudes who like, hey, why he crying? He acting like a bitch or this, that, and the third. You know how some dudes are. And I can also look at it the sympathetic way on, you being away from your family, you dedicating your life to a sport or a specific profession, and it just not working out the way you wanted to. So I could see it from both points. And like I said, my final thoughts is just for Jabari too. I know you ain't in the situation you want to be in, but try to make the most of it, man. Try to make the most of it. And that's for anybody who going through something like this. Try to make the most of the situation. Take it day by day. And you never know, you might be back in the league if you Jabari Parker. Just keep building, keep working on your game. You never know, you might be back in the league. You still young, you're only like 28, 29, so there's still potential for you to be back in the league. Just keep working on your game. Keep, just working on your craft. And hey, God will lead you to whatever he wants you to be or wherever he wants you to be at. But hey, that's my thoughts on the situation. You already know what it is. It's Drill Guy Daryl. You already know what to do. Like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to the motherfucking channel, turn on notifications and all that good stuff, and I'm out. Peace.